First up, we need to get a myth or a misunderstanding out of the way, and that is that there are these little anxiety monsters inside your coffee that cause anxiety, and that's just not the case. Caffeine doesn't cause anxiety. However, when you drink caffeine, you may experience heightened anxiety, or you might engage in more compulsions, struggle with obsessions or physical symptoms. Absolutely all of that is true. So I'm going to explain why that happens, because understanding this was something that really helped me with getting over my anxiety issues and just generally taking care of my mental health. I'm going to give you the simplified version of what happens when caffeine gets into our bodies. So what I've got here is a pre-workout drink. It's about 300 milligrams of caffeine. That's around 2 espressos, and I'm going to take a drink of it. It tastes like science and sweat. It goes into my body. The caffeine molecules, everything gets broken down, all the junk gets separated out. I've got caffeine molecules running around my body. A bunch of things happen, and one of the things that those caffeine molecules are going to do is they're going to interfere with the breakdown of something called cyclic adenosine monophosphate. And cyclic adenosine monophosphate is an intracellular messenger. And so it's inside of your cells, and it takes messages around it. It tells your cells to do things. But now it's not getting broken down. And so because it's not getting broken down, it's able to give those messages even more. And then a bunch of things start to happen in your body because of those messages. So norepinephrine and epinephrine gets released around your heart, and your heart starts to beat faster. So you're getting more oxygen to your brain, more oxygen to your muscles, your bronchial tubes relax, your kidneys go into overdrive, you become more alert, and you're ready to do something. You're ready to fight, you're ready to run away, you're ready to make videos. A lot of the same things are going on here in our body that happen when we get anxious. Our heart rate is beating faster, we're breathing differently, we need to go to the washroom, we're hyper aware of things. And this is really problematic if we've labeled anxiety as something bad, something dangerous, an indicator that there is something we need to avoid right now. Our nervous systems are a two-way street. So usually when we're struggling with anxiety, we start up here. We start obsessing about something, or catastrophizing, we're worrying about something horrible that did happen or that could happen, and it feels so real. In fact, your brain believes in many ways it is real. And so your brain reacts to that danger. It sends signals down to your body that we need to fight, we need to run away, something bad is happening, that sparks the adrenaline, the faster heart rate, etc. But it also works in reverse. You can think of your brain as sort of watching what's happening in your body. So when those indicators of danger start to get shot up to the brain, it's like the brain thinks we've been attacked by a tiger, but it doesn't know where the tiger is or what's going wrong. So your brain just says, okay, look, these same things that happen when we're in danger are happening right now, so we must be in danger. And then your brain starts looking for the danger, and it's trying to find out why we need to run away, and it's panicking. It's like, I don't know what's going on here, but you need to panic right now. If you've been struggling with a specific obsession lately, your brain will start throwing that at you. Like, what if you did hurt somebody? What if she hates you? What if you're gonna get fired? What if none of this matters? Or maybe your brain will just come up with something that's so absolutely absurdly irrational, but it just, your brain is trying to find out what's wrong. So it'll dig up something from the past and say, look, what if this terrible thing that happened many, many years ago is actually happening again? Because you hated that. That was danger to you. Or if you struggle with a lot of physical manifestations of anxiety, you'll start to experience those. The ringing in your ears, the pain, the discomfort in your stomach. Again, your brain is trying to find the thing that's going wrong and bring your attention to it so you can fix it. I would always just engage in lots of compulsions if I had any caffeine. So if I thought I needed to drink some caffeine to stay up to do some work, because I'd procrastinated on doing that work, I would just go into procrastination overdrive. I would just be convinced, I just got to check one more thing online. I can just watch one more movie, play one more game, and then I'll get down to it. And I would just go into this super energetic, compulsion-driven mental illness practice time, which is so often what happens when we're not prepared to handle these experiences with caffeine. This was also useful to understand because when I was drinking caffeine, I wasn't having a physiological experience that was different from anybody else drinking caffeine. But for years, I trained my brain to attach all of these negative meanings and judgments and labels to that physical experience. So when my brain registered that physical experience, it was only doing what I trained it to do, to try to control it, to try to run away from it, to try to cover it up. So much of recovery from mental health challenges is ripping off all of those labels we've stuck on totally natural human experiences. When we cut out any compulsion, we're risking that we're going to experience something inside of our heads or inside of our bodies that we do not like, that we find incredibly uncomfortable, potentially like excruciatingly painful to experience. We accept that, we push into that feeling, and we do something we care about. And by doing that, we're showing our brain we don't need to avoid these experiences. And in fact, those labels, all that meaning we attach to that experience was wrong. And that's how we start to rip off all of that stuff, all of that heavy baggage that we've stuck on that physical experience. If you've cut caffeine out of your life, you said, I can't drink coffee because it causes me anxiety, know that it is possible to bring coffee and other drinks with caffeine back into your life if that's something you would find valuable to you. We can approach this the same way we would approach anything that we've avoided only because of anxiety. However, I do consider this more of a mental health pro skill. So make sure you tackle other compulsions first. Learn how to sit with anxiety while you do things you value. If you already feel like you have a good practice going around that you're consistently cutting out compulsions, when you notice that urge to avoid something, you notice that you feel really anxious and you want to get away or engage in compulsions, you actually accept that feeling and do things you value. If you're already getting skilled at that, then you might find it useful to also explore something like bringing coffee back into your life, if that's something you enjoy. So I did make a video about that. You can click right there and go and take a look at that. And I basically explain the steps that I found useful for sitting with that very physical experience of anxiety and doing things that I value to help my brain relearn that it was wrong about those physical experiences and that it can actually enjoy them. So if that's where you're at, go and check out that video. But for everybody, wherever you're at in your recovery journey, wherever you're at with taking care of your mental health, enjoy whatever it is you're drinking.